You can't see.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
I just wanted to make sure I could hear you.
Yeah, are you good? Can you hear me all right?
Yep, you sound good.
Sound good. Hi, Mayor.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Okay,
Did you get into the doctor yesterday?
yes,
You did?
yeah.
Oh, good.
I got another appointment tomorrow.
Yeah,
That one's in Evansville.
okay. Gotcha. All right, well, if there's anything you need, just holler.
Okay, so what? I just unmute myself then, or will you have to unmute me?
I'm not gonna mute it just since you're on, so you can talk, so I'll let it go in case you need to talk.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I can mute it on this side, so I just did. I think we're
Yeah.
good.
Okay, yep, sounds good. I'll be watching too, and if something comes up, just text me if you can't hear or whatever.
Okay. I don't have all of the documents in front of me, so,
Okay, you may not have the most recent.
right.
If you go on the city website, I have the most up-to-date one on there, if you want to look at it from there.
All right, let me try that.
That's fine. Yeah, I just don't want information.
Think about it.
Right, okay.
Besides, I know you're trying to, that he's trying to convince them, unless he wants to talk about it this year.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Well, if I need to do something, just let me know so I can follow up.
What?
It's a winner.
I just. Give it.
I don't remember. Know how to do it on my computer. You know how to transfer it, yeah. I'm looking. Don't say that.
He's on, yep,
That's it.
that's him, yep.
He's 6 French. I know. That's okay.
Show for Canada.
You know, it's fine and all that.
Okay, I got the most recent agenda up, Lisa. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Always got everybody. Yeah, it's just contracts. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be today.
Next is fine.
The Smithville contract is last. How do you proceed with that?
Like, so we'll start.
Convince those invoices.
Yeah, I mean, all of us, put them all in there. It's nothing changing from your perspective.
Right. Something I need to do or take care of, whatever. Okay, just.
Still just take care.
Okay.
We're updating. Basically, dollars. We get a $20 discount.
Perfect. I like it.
Yeah.
Mayor, can you hear me still?
Yes,
Okay,
Yes.
something happened whenever I put that flash drive in.
To save my life.
Working on these storm sewer project this week. I figured looking at the next 10 days here. It'll be decent weather, so. Yeah. Love it, it'd be terrible.
And that's.
No, it's not, we're off.
Yeah, but then like.
It was a great job to get that house down. That's in the top of the water.
It's a fairly new thing, I think. Because you don't have to start at certain year. So I'm supposed to do the 45 shift. I went that
We got what that night? Yeah. Friends in high school had that down to it. So painful. You get chills. Yeah.
We'll go ahead and start the meeting for the Board of Public Works. Clerk Treasurer, can you do roll call?
Mayor Dean Vonderheide.
present.
Board Member Tim Bell.
Present.
Board Member Nancy Eckerly.
Here.
Police Chief Chad Dick.
Here.
Police Street Commissioner Jeff Tyzing.
Here.
City Engineer Chad Herm.
Here.
Personnel Safety Loss Control Director Kel Kenise.
Here.
Fire Chief Code Enforcement Officer Kenny Hoaxay.
Present.
Director of Community Development and Planning Josh Genselman.
Here.
Park and Recreation Director Tom Mormon.
Here.
City Attorney Renee Faber. Here. Clerk Treasurer Kirsten Kenise present. In order to have a quorum, a majority of the board members must be present. 2 are present in person and 1 online, which is a majority, therefore there is a quorum for this meeting.
All right, for all who are able, please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, Jessica, you walked in just a, oh, sorry. We would like to, the minutes were received for the February the 11th meeting and the special meeting on February the 18th. Is there? Yeah, we'll do them separate. For February 18th, it was a regular meeting. Tim, did you see anything with that, or Mayor? If we have a motion.
I will make a motion to approve the February 11th meeting. As mentioned.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
And then for the special meeting that was held on February the 18th, we have minutes for that also. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve those minutes, although on the minutes, I notice it says February 19th.
I had February 9th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, February 19th. So that was
Same
correct.
day as the council.
I'll make a motion to approve the Board of Public Works and Safety special meeting on February 19th.
I will second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
And I think I was absent for that meeting. Was I not?
You were, but I think you can vote.
Yeah, so I abstain on the approval.
Okay, those were approved. Okay, so Jessica with the DC multi-sport. We have a couple of things.
I do, yes. For DC Multisport, we are requesting to use the Parklands for the Parkland 6-hour endurance relay on May 17th. The time frame of that event, it starts at 6:30 a.m. and goes until 12:30 p.m. We use a timing company and we have teams comprised of 1, 2, 4, or 6 people teams. And the benefactor for this event is Mentors for Youth. I had a map with the application showing,
Yeah.
like we set up base up by the clubhouse, yep. So we really just use the path and it's open to the public. We don't close it down.
Jessica, you're doing this in the same manner you did in previous years?
Yes, the
Yeah.
only thing we might add is with Mentors for Youth, they might want to make it more of a family atmosphere to bring families down and cheer on those teams. So we might bring a food truck. I've been in conversations with Clubhouse on that and they're fine with that. We're gonna ask Retro because they're on site there. I think they might have a food truck, so we're gonna try and keep it right there, but it would only help the benefactor Mentors for Youth, and that was kind of their idea as a partner, since they are the benefactor. That would be the only difference.
An approved food truck that the city of Jasper allowed.
Yeah, what?
They would have to have the proper
Okay.
paperwork for the city of Jasper.
Okay,
Not-
well, it's not on their
Oh, because it's an
property.
approved spot.
Parkland, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we would be at the clubhouse. That's where it would be, up in that parking lot.
Parkland, it would be on the- yeah.
And we
Yeah,
don't, we don't need permission for that.
Yeah, I'm just asking permission for the use of the path, I guess.
And 6:30 a.m., correct?
Yeah, it starts at 6:30. We're usually there setting up like the timing mat and things, probably by 5:30 in the morning, but yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the Parkland 6-hour endurance relay on Saturday, May 17th. With the start time at 6:30 a.m.
And then running no later than about 1 p.m.
Yes.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carried.
And then this.
Your second request?
Yes, the second event is for the Battle of the Paddle pickleball tournament. We're asking permission to use Boner Park pickleball courts on Saturday, September 27th from about 9 a.m. until late afternoon, early evening. And then it just depends on how many teams we get. And then Sunday, September 28th, beginning at 1 o'clock and then going until about the same time, 5 or 6. I have been talking with Janessa on the new ordinance that we have to pay for the pickleball courts. And so I've been in conversations with her as far as that goes. And we don't use the shelter house or anything. The teams just set up there
Right
and,
outside.
yeah. Yeah.
What's your past experience with how many teams?
I think we've had up to 30 teams across the whole weekend. The first day is a women's bracket, and then in the afternoon is the men's bracket, and then on Sunday is the co-ed. And then we break it up, 49 and under, and then 50 and over are the brackets for each age group as well.
And you would run it the same way you've ran it. And how many years have you done this?
I think this is our 5th year.
Any questions on this?
I think this year your benefactor is
Crisis Connection. Yeah, we're working with Crisis Connection this year. Last year, it did rain and we had to move it indoors at the YMCA. So if that does happen, we do move it indoors if it's bad weather.
You have a backup then?
Yes, yeah.
You know, I think as long as the coordination has been done with the Parks Department, I think it's a good event. I'd make a motion, we approve the Battle of the Paddle pickleball tournament for Saturday, September 27th and Sunday, September 28th at Bonert Park.
I will second.
And a second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, is that all you need this morning?
Thank you.
Okay, Brad Eckerly?
Brad Eckerly, Bristol Land Surveying Engineering, here on behalf of Kirstein's development. We have a plat of Northridge Estates
You
one.
pull it up and I'll share it.
Where do you think I saved it?
I don't know.
Too many folders.
There we go.
So basically with the Board of Public Works, we have a Northridge Estates one, which is a 13 lot subdivision. And lots 1 through 12 are single family. There to the south, you see a cul-de-sac, that's an extension of Todd Lane. And then to the north is lot 13, which is villa type. That's a private drive access, but we do have drainage, public infrastructure and public utility drainage easements that do serve the overall. So in coordination and in finalization of the secondary plat, twofold. One is the acceptance and dedication of the right-of-way and easements, which Todd Lane with the cul-de-sac would be part of the right-of-way dedicated to the city of Jasper. The north-south road is Ann Lane that you see on the right side of your screen, and there on the north that runs diagonal northeast is Beth. Actually, in the corner there, it's actually private property where the existing public road sits today, so we're just cleaning that up. But Ann Lane and Beth Lane are actually are maintained and outside the corporation limits of the city of Jasper. So the county, Du Bois County actually does maintain these streets. So we do have to where this is annexed. It is part of the corporation limits. But we are in coordination with the county because the county roads are used to access and utilize. So twofold is the acceptance of the easements and public infrastructure that we coordinated through the departments, TAC and the Plan Commission. And then secondly would be presented for the use and approval of V curbs here. The adjacent Todd Lane, it would be what we would consider substandard to the city of Jasper. The proposed public street that we have on Todd Lane does conform to our standards. We do have a curved street for it, but has been coordinated to utilize the V curve. That does take Board of Public Works approval for them. So
We'll just look at these one at a time. The first would be the acceptance of the dedicated right-of-way, public utility and drainage easements and public infrastructure. Jeff, do you have any, I mean, I'm sure you're all part of the TAC meetings and this seemed to be approved by the city of Jasper standards.
Right, everything should be good. Yeah, we've looked at it, it's acceptable. Good.
Okay. What was the street on that, was that Todd Lane and Ann Lane on the dedicated right-of-way?
just Todd Lane.
It's Todd Lane on
Yeah.
that, okay.
There is, not to confuse, but there's a little square over the existing road that
There's no name.
for years they cut through, so this little section right here. So technically this road comes and it's a curve, it's technically within private land today. So we have a dedication. And that was part of the reason in coordination with Du Bois County that we are going to the commissioners as well in the phase of getting formal signatures on this approval. We are presenting to the commission. I mean, we have coordinated with the county to explain. They knew that we actually did coordinate with the street department and the county engineer and had tweaked some of our drainage up at that intersection. So it seems that we're in the right direction, just a formality to where technically that's a little piece of right of way that's part of being dedicated.
We need a motion for the acceptance of the dedicated right-of-way, public utility and drainage easements and public infrastructure for the Northridge Estates subdivision on Todd Lane.
I'll make
I'll make that
the
motion.
Nancy.
The second? I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. Then the second request is the acceptance of V curb within the Northridge Estates, Todd Lane and Ann Lane. No adjacent curb currently present. Okay, so I'm curious on the streets department also, if that would conform with what is appropriate.
Any curb is gonna be better than what's out there now, so it's gonna improve drainage. So it'll be good.
Okay, so that would be Todd Lane and Ann Lane on that.
So you're on this, or is that all of Northridge Estates that you're doing that V curve, or is it?
It's here along the public street of Todd Lane,
So just that.
out,
section.
out to Ann Lane. So this is actually a previously 50-foot right of way, that was previously, we are constructing a full width street within this as well. So we are connecting to Ann Lane here, but it's in this section right here.
And is that Todd Lane or is that the private drive?
That's Todd Lane.
Okay.
That would be a public street.
And the V curve in difference to what's the other kind of curve called?
Yeah, barrier curve, right? So barrier curve just has a 6-inch rise on it, and that would be the standard. So anytime we waiver from that, it's permission from the board of board. My best example would probably be Autumn Creek 3. We had a desire to use V curve and we had to go with barrier because the adjacent curve to it was barrier. So, and I think that's the purpose on that process that is here with the curves versus just coordinating with the street and engineering.
Why is the request for the V curve instead of the standard?
Yeah, that's a good question, yeah.
Typically for that, it's associated with, well, one is where your driveway, we don't know the exact driveway locations depending on the style of home for a single family that's built. So when you have V curve, you're not tearing up the street when you install your driveway. Because you can traverse the V curve to get into your lot. When we have our barrier curve, during the initial subdivision installation, you pour your barrier curve. And then when the house is built, you come in and you cut that new curb, patch the asphalt. So part of that is the fact that we just built curb one time and do that. Other than Autumn Creek 3, we've had a lot of requests for the V curb. All of Brookstone's V curb. I know, I'm trying to think, bouncing where, but
What's the preferred curve for the city?
I mean, barrier's probably the one that we prefer, but again, there's a lot of subdivisions in which the curbs used. And that's, again, generally I think the ordinance says, as Brad said, if there's a curb there that's existing, then we require you to match it. If there is none, then we generally will let you use a curb. But again, you still have to come in and get approval for it. So anyhow.
So in that entire area, is there any other curb? No curbs at all?
Closest one would be Portersville Road. Ackerman Road has a little bit out of school.
Like-
nothing closer.
yeah, like when we approach from Todd Lane, we'll go from, I forget exactly, but like 22-foot street width. And then when you continue west, then all of a sudden will be at 40 feet face of curb. We'll meet the standard, do it. And the intent typically for that is we don't know the future and what it means. So someday, maybe all these streets are redone and they are to the street standards that we have currently, meaning the existing to the east. Just east of here was, I forget the subdivision name, but I know on my exhibit, there was a cul-de-sac street back in 2006 or 8, I believe, and they had V curve as well, but it was a full street.
Thanks, Brad, for your explanation. And, I really don't have a problem with that V curve. Where we do have it, I think it works pretty well. I just want to make sure I understood why.
Here with that, would you want to make the motion for the acceptance of that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept the V curve installation as proposed.
I'll second.
We have a second. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Brad.
Can I leave these?
Gina?
So, I'll look at them.
State your names and who you represent.
I am Gina Nygam and I'm with Du Bois County ARC. Genevieve Jones, I chair Du Bois County ARC.
Right, and your intention this morning?
We're here this morning to get permission to have our second annual fun run event that is held down at the Riverwalk. It's gonna be held September 27th from 10 to 2. As of last year, we choose a benefactor, usually a nonprofit that gets the proceeds from our event. And it's just for the people in recovery to come down, and it was a really great event last year, except for we had a torrential downpour the first.
If you recall, it was when we were getting the residual effects of the tropical storm or hurricane last September. And we still had 60 people show up and we had a grand time under the shelter houses in the pouring rain.
Were there any issues last year?
No, so I'm gonna talk about, can you hear me? I feel like it's not projected. Okay, cool. So, my printer wasn't working this morning to print off my application, so I wrote down the details. So our route, we start at the Dave Beeler Plaza, we go to the Rixer Golf Course end, and then we come back. So it's not very long.
Okay.
Really, it's a fun run or walk, and the intention is not necessarily to have it be a structured 5K. It's more to bring folks in recovery, the community, as well as law enforcement all together. So our goal is really like tenfold. We want to reduce stigma. We want to support educating folks in the community about addiction as well as local resources. So we have vendors come. Last year, even in the rain, we had Matthew 25 from Evansville come. We had some folks from Celebrate Recovery.
Churches.
CEO was represented. So just a really good community event. And then
And
we
those
also.
are educational, like they're not selling anything.
Correct. Yes, none of the vendors are selling anything. And we also invited law enforcement to reduce the stigma between those and law enforcement as well as folks in recovery. Just an opportunity for them to see each other in a different setting. And then, as Gina mentioned, we did all of the registrations, any proceeds went to Sober Duco. So if you're not familiar, they run free exercise opportunities for anybody who's had at least 48 hours of sobriety. They do CrossFit in, the gym is right behind the Du Bois County Museum. So when they first started that, they did not have flooring, they didn't have equipment, they didn't have anything. So the proceeds last year, we were able to raise, I think it was close to $1,000, which we were really impressed for a first year event in the hurricane. To have that level of proceed. We did intend to have music last year and WBDC allowed us to borrow some of their equipment. However, with the rain, we didn't even end up using it because we couldn't make sure that their equipment would be protected. I have not contacted the street department this year, but last year I did, and they said because of the route not actually being on any of the streets, they didn't foresee any barriers. That was the same response I got from Dave Berger as well. He told me that I could come and get a couple of vests if I wanted to post somebody at the underpass there, right by the hotel, as well as Ruxer Golf Course, but we didn't end up doing that, and we didn't have any issues. The waiver we presented has actually already been approved by Greg Schnarr, so that's taken care of. The shelter houses, we've already been in contact with Janessa. She penciled us in. I believe the walk to end Alzheimer's is the same day, but it's my understanding that they just walk. They don't have a larger event like we had. Like last year, we had food and resource tables and the whole shebang bang. So
They probably would have a table set up with information.
that's fine. Absolutely, the more the merrier. And
We
then
already approved theirs, so just so,
Okay.
you know, it all works together.
yeah. And then we anticipate getting insurance through DC Multisport. Last year, they were our fiduciary agent. Because the council is attached to the county government, we can't handle any of the money. So DC Multisport was wonderful. They set up the run sign up online. They took care of all the finances. And they were the fiduciary agent that cut the check to Sober Duco. So great partnership with them, and we purchased insurance through them because they're used to having 5K, these types of events. I have not reached out to Kenny Hoaxing. Last year when I chatted with him, he saw basically the only advice he gave me was don't grill directly into the shelter houses. And I'm like, and you have to tell people that? He's like, you'd be surprised. So, so I don't foresee that being an issue. And then we're not using a tent. So going through that application, I think everything should be smooth sailing, but I'm more than happy to reach out to the street department, the police and the fire department again, just so they know it's occurring.
I might have missed it, but is Silver Duco your beneficiary?
So we haven't decided. We wanted to make sure that we had the location and the date secured before we move forward with planning. This is a second year event, so we're really excited to have the first year kinks worked out.
It doesn't matter to us who you're.
Yeah.
So basically, you're asking for the Dubois County Advocacy for Recovery and Prevention Council, ARC, to hold the Live and Rise Fun Run for Recovery on Saturday, September 27th in the Riverwalk area. Also utilizing, I guess, a few of the shelter houses, and set up from 9 to 4. The event starts at 10, I guess goes till 4 or whenever it's over.
Usually about 2. So we start at 10, the fun run starts at 11, and then it just kind of depends how long people hang around, if we have food or we draw. We had some things donated last year.
So the
which
event
we like a
itself doesn't
raffle.
start till 11.
Correct.
All right.
10.
I'll go
The
ahead.
event starts at 10, we run at 11.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve that event on Saturday, September 27th.
I'll second it.
Okay, Mayor second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Anyone opposed? Thanks for coming this morning.
Thanks so much.
We're on to the shelter house.
All right. Chief Chad Dick.
First item, I'd like to request permission to send Officer Jason Canese and Detective Aaron Schmidt to the National Dare Conference, which is being held in Indianapolis on July 24th and 25th. Typically, there's a state conference and a national conference, but since the national conference is being held in Indianapolis, they decided to not do the state conference and do it in conjunction. So anyway, both of those two officers are ones that do our DARE programs throughout our public school systems. The total cost for the training is $1,400.64. That's $900 for the training, $140 for the meals, and $424 for the hotel. So again, a total of $1,464.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the recommendation for Jason Canese and Aaron Schmidt to attend the National Dare Conference in Indianapolis. I'm sorry, I didn't get the date.
It's July 24th and 25th.
Okay, July 24th and 25th, and so for the total cost of $1,464.
I will second.
Okay, the discussion is, and you have, is that come out of your training budget?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay,
Thank you. Need to inform the board on an emergency purchase that we had to make last week. Melissa Bagley, doing her job as she does so well, decided to go into the room where the water heater is located at the police department to find a bunch of water on the floor that was coming from the bottom of the water heater. Anyway, she contacted Mariners, they came over, and were able to get to, that was on Thursday that she discovered it. They were able to come Friday morning to get the water heater replaced with the exact same model that we had before. So that cost of that was $5,472.48.
would you repeat that amount?
$5,472.48.
And so how do we handle that emergency purchase?
Chief contacted me and told me what was going on, and I told them, go ahead and make the purchase.
Yeah.
So I would like for the board to acknowledge that that was an emergency purchase, so that we can keep that kind of determination in our file for audit purposes, and then approve the purchase.
And then I assume that you have funds, either in your budget or your donation funds that you're gonna use to pay for it.
We'll get it, we got the bill yesterday for it, so, yeah, we've got money, so we'll get it paid.
So you'll work with Kirsten on designating which that comes out of.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve an emergency purchase for replacement of a water heater. At the Jasper Police Department at a cost of $5,472.48.
I'll second.
All right, a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? That's never a room anyone wants to walk into.
It's never any fun when that happens, when you discover that the water heater is shot. So we're hoping it was coming from a pipe, which she came up and told us, but we went down and you could clearly tell that
I guess
it
better
was
than
coming
a
from the
pipe,
bottom
really.
of the tank, so. Thank you on that. The next item is we'd like permission to jump two street phantom light bars. These are the first generation LED models that were purchased back in, we believe, when the Tahoe was originally purchased. So it's been many, many years ago. We're guessing 20+ years old, but they're very outdated, no longer function or really project like the newer models do. So anyway, the asset tag numbers are 101517 and 101518. And it's a front and rear that are mounted inside the vehicle, the front rear of the vehicle.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the junking of two old light bars, asset numbers 101517 and 101518.
I'll second.
Any other we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? I mean, you're just simply gonna throw those away.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, then you have something else.
Yes, I do have two additional items that did make the agenda. One is we have a Microsoft Surface Pro 3 that just no longer works. The battery was actually warped at it when we took the bottom cover off of it. It's shot. So anyway, the asset, we'd like permission to junk that. Asset tag is 102644.
I'll make a motion to junk the Microsoft Surface Pro 3 asset tag number 102644.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone
Aye.
opposed? Okay. And then here's something, another training.
Yep, the last item that I have is Detective Josh Greener. We'd like to send him to an interview and interrogation techniques training, which is being held in Franklin, Indiana, on March 25th, 26th, and 27th. Total cost of the training is $675. That's $350 for the training, $220 for the hotel, and $105 for meals.
And then what's your total?
$675.
Okay, that you said it's 25th, 26th, and 27th of March, right?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to allow Josh Greener to attend the interrogation interview training on March 25th, 26th, 27th, at a total cost of $675.
I'll second that.
Mayor seconds that, and you have money yet, your budget for that? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Mohsen?
First item I have is the code enforcement report. There's two items on there. The first one is 820 Church Avenue. There's accumulation of debris. There was a lot of trash sitting there that's been taken care of. And the second one is at 110 East 15th Street. That was taken care of yesterday. It was filed yesterday, so they have 10 days now to complete that.
Was that one I talked to you about?
Yes,
So that's why I'm talking about too.
yeah, unfortunate there. There's a,
Was it in the garage or is it?
both.
Both.
Yeah, they have a tarp over the garage and it's fallen in. So there's a lot of items there that need to be addressed, as well as piles of cardboard and trash bags, and it's a couch up on the truck that's sitting in the driveway for a while, and so,
Yes, a lot of debris.
yes, it's so we'll follow up with that one. They'll have 10 days to get that taken care of. And then also have my fuel and maintenance report as well. I think there it's actually quite low for January, so that's a good sign. I don't know if you need to accept those reports or not.
Yeah.
Okay. it's fine.
Just accept them.
The other item I have is at the last meeting, we opened quotes for the combi tool, which is extrication tool. And those prices, came in, somewhat the same, but there were some higher ones, but, anyhow, our recommendation, is from Impact Rescue. And it's $16,820. We had 3 of the 4 vendors bring their tools in. And we actually were somewhat educated on the ability that those tools have besides just extricating vehicles, as well as forcing entry into homes and places where, like before we're tied to our truck, as far as our hydraulic hoses would reach. That's as far as the tools can, this now can be mobile. It can go to a home, to a door, to a business if we need to pry entry. They say it takes a very small opening to force that tool in there, pry that door open and things. So it's another feature we found out that we were not aware of anyhow. But I sent an email yesterday to all of you and the mayor explaining the reasons that we found with the different tools and our recommendation. I can run through some of those. We're recommending the tool from Impact Rescue for $16,820. And that tool outperformed the others. And I put together a sheet here. The response is much quicker than some. It has dual controls on it as well, whether you need to move slowly or move at a quicker pace. It has 360 lighting on it. So if you can imagine at nighttime doing some extrications and things, it actually has lighting on the handle on both sides for visibility and safety for that. It comes with a truck mount at no cost. So this tool will actually set in the truck. It'll be strapped in the truck. For firefighter safety, the handle is a no crush handle. So sometimes when you're working with that metal, that tool will twist on you, things like that. So it has audible warnings for your speed control. Like when you max out completely, it gives you audible warnings. That's the only tool that done that as well. So just a wide variety of reasons. And like I said, I sent them to everyone yesterday. So our recommendation is that tool. It was not the low quote, but we felt that was outperformed their tools significantly. So it was.
Your payment method for this tool?
Yes, the majority of the funds are coming from our donation funds and the rest will come from our equipment fund. So, yep. So. That's it.
We need a motion then to accept the quote for combi tool, which was one of 4 quotes, and their quote was the amount of $16,820. I'll go ahead and make that motion. We need a second.
I'll second.
Dave Mayer seconds it. Any other discussion? All right, when would you receive that?
They act like it would be fairly quick. They said, maybe it could be as low as 2 weeks. So, but, yeah, they're built in the US, so, from out of Wisconsin, so.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. Thank you, Ken.
That's all I have for
Anything
today.
else?
Yep.
Kale?
Morning. Just wanted to come to the board this morning to ask permission to look for quotes for a new city hall vehicle. Right now we have a 2007 Chevy Equinox that has been passed down.
And we were going to look at a used vehicle this time around, correct? Our low mileage.
I'll get there. Okay.
All right.
All right, but we have a 2007, just to update you on what we do have. We have a 2007 Chevy Equinox that was passed down from the police department. We've been utilizing that for at least probably the last 5-6 years. We're getting close to 100,000 on the vehicle. has some good life yet, but has definitely shown its wear and tear. We'd like to keep that vehicle in operation. Because we're starting to see more travel within the city and also outside the city. But we feel it'd be necessary to look at getting quotes for a gently used vehicle or new, depending on what they submit in the quote. Talking with the mayor, we're going to look at what we can get. And I'm also gonna work with the street department because they have quite the vast experience in getting quotes and stuff for vehicles. So we'll work with Jeff and Bob and try to get as much detail in there as we can for quotes. So
Bob does a great job putting together specifications.
so I thought it would be pretty easy for myself just to do it, but looking at it, there's a lot more that goes into it from what Bob shared. So I'm gonna work with him.
How many users are there of this vehicle?
Pretty well everybody in City Hall. We also utilize the arts department. And then every once in a while, JPD uses it for travel as well. So
What will happen to who's
gonna monitor
our own, yeah.
since it's City Hall / the mayor vehicle, so we'll rely on Lisa to do that. But she has a calendar for the vehicles, so that's why.
Are you gonna keep 2 vehicles though?
Yes, that's the
Okay,
plan, is to
got
keep both of those.
You're adding on.
Oh, we're keeping the Equinox.
Yeah, we're gonna keep the Equinox, it's just.
Oh,
So I guess we'll allow Gail to start the process of looking for an additional city hall vehicle. Slightly used. Okay.
is that
Slightly used or new.
Yeah.
depending on the quotes?
Yeah, depending on what comes in from a quote standpoint, I really don't know, so.
All right,
Is that a motion?
yeah.
All right, we have a motion, approving Cato to seek quotes for an additional city hall vehicle. I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right,
Opposed? Okay. Anything else?
I was just gonna say, this is budgeted through the mayor, so I'll work with him on this and keep you up to date, so.
Okay, so it's in the mayor's budget.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember if it was in your department's budget or the
Our City Hall.
city hall budget.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Chad, all right?
Just to report back on the bid opening from last Wednesday, we did review those bids. And we see no reason not to move forward. We've been working on the paperwork for that, so. I think we got permission to proceed pending review, so we are moving forward. Any questions on that? Okay, next item I have is update on couple other projects. The March 1st date for the closure of 15th Street is still, the contractor is still moving forward with that date for the water line project. Will depend on rain tomorrow afternoon. So but right now, based on the forecast, they feel that they will be able to be in that intersection on Saturday. So
What was the deadline on that?
I'm sorry.
Were you giving us a deadline on that project? Because they've started it.
No, just an update on the closure at 15th Street.
Oh, the closure.
15th and Mill, yeah. We had gotten permission to close 15th and Mill.
Yeah.
But we said it was pending weather, so we feel that they are gonna be able to get there, so. Then.
They may actually have that closed now, today.
They're working up to it. I don't think they got it closed today. But we have notified, Kimball and some of the other businesses down 15th Street to make them aware of what's going on. Their vehicles will be aware of it, but still could run into issues with vehicles coming in from the other side, so we will try to post.
And how long is that closure thing?
It'd be for the day. Yeah. Yeah.
Saturday or like that too, right?
Yes, yeah, it's a Saturday. So yeah, the intent is to get in there, get taps made and get out, so. Next item I have, Canice Construction is, still, they're looking to close the east half of the Mill Street parking lot, beginning tomorrow, so, and we are hoping to get in, get that done, get it back over as quickly as we can, so.
And as quickly as we can, we talked, I can't remember if we talked about.
Well,
2 weeks.
we had talked, well, we had talked 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm hoping it's gonna be less than that. I'm hoping for a maximum of 2 weeks, so.
And have the businesses in that area been notified?
I believe they have, I will follow up.
That's pretty important, very important.
Yeah.
And also I think we talked about reaching out to those that paid for a parking spot.
Yeah, I know Scott had looked and they got a list, so.
Yeah.
We've tried.
Of
So,
course, you don't know where everyone parks just because they paid for it.
right, right. And then the last item I have, just an update on Main Street, concrete crews are back in there, they're working down there, so. We're still waiting on structures for the north half, but they anticipate those in the next week or so, so. They will be moving to the north half, so.
Where do they expect to finish on the south side?
Well, they've got, probably within the next week or so, as far as, they're still working on concrete work, and we are, in coordination with the Strassen Fest. We're doing some, work with anchors and stuff down there for the tents. So that hasn't been done yet, but, that'll be spot work more or less. So they can do what they're doing and come back and do those items, but, like they're working in the southwest corner, of Third Main, the old cleaners, that's where they're working right now, so.
I know that business that's in there is concerned about her business being
Yeah, and
closed,
actually-
or the entryway being so closed so often.
Yeah, we got contact from a contractor, local contractor. Yesterday or Friday, I can't remember what day it was, in conjunction with some work for that building, running some downspouts and stuff, so. Raggle has been coordinating with them on running, drainage lines for them, so. So, any questions on that? That's all I have.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff, we ran out of time.
Oh. Okay, well, next. I'd like to ask for a special meeting then. Good morning. A couple of things this morning, a few things. I've actually added a couple too. I apologize for that. It seems like after I send this to Lisa, more things keep coming, so. But first on the agenda, there is a seeking permission to seek quotes to purchase 2 items that are on our budget. One is a push camera and the other is a 6-yard rubbish truck. Both of them are on our budget. The push camera is something that stays on the truck. The camera inspects, storm sewer camera inspection truck. It goes into pipes that are 6 inches and 4 inches. So it's a lot of plumbers use those. And so ours is actually a hand-me-down from the wastewater department. And it's seen its better days. So anyway, we'd like to start the process for that. And then also the 6-yard rubbish truck. It has over real close to 100,000 miles on it, and it's time to replace it as well. As you see, that truck is out every day. So But anyhow, so those two items we'd like to start on, with, our administrative assistant tells us the winter is over. So we're running out of time to work on specs, so, we'd like to move
And
forward.
what's the age of the current rubbish truck you're replacing?
That is, you know what, I did not write that down.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Is it 20 years old or?
It's not that old. Like I said, the mileage is more of a concern than what the age of it is. But it's 10 years. So right in that 10-year mark, so.
I'll make a motion to give you approval to seek quotes to purchase the following. One is a push camera and the other is a 6-yard rubbish truck.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay,
All right, the next item is, and I apologize, our staff does such a good job of, when they go out for quotes, they give it to me and think that we have to get approval for everything. But these rubber edges are actually more of an operation and maintenance type of thing. I'm just gonna give that to you as just to let you know that we did go out and try to get 3 quotes. We did get 2 back. The third did not reply. However, we're buying 8 new rubber edges for our snow plows. And it came in below price from Michael Todd Industries for $4,440.54. So like I said, I don't think that requires any action. It's just an operation.
how often do you replace those?
It really depends on how bad the winter is, but yeah, we use rubber edges, municipalities that get a lot of snow use steel. But again, for the snows that we get, rubber edges work really good. They don't tear things up. However, they do take the brunt of it. So a lot of times if we catch something, you know, it's gonna get caught. We consistently adjust those edges after each snowstorm. We clean the trucks up and then we come back in and we adjust them so that they're nice and smooth because sometimes they do wear on the edges. So before we put them away for the end of the event, when we clean all the trucks up, we adjust those so that they're ready for the next time they go out. But that's the one thing about them is they do wear. But yeah, usually you can get 4 years out of them. So, but the great thing about them is you can flip them over after they wear so much on the bottom, on the current bottom, you can flip them over and then work on the other edge. So that's why we get a little, but again, a lot of it depends on how severe the winter is.
You guys do great in your maintenance work.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so we've got a good staff. They do good work. So. All right, and then we'd like to get permission to start the hiring process. We did have a retirement at the end of 2024. And originally I came to you and said that I was going to try to fill that spot with previous. We did do a little research and talked to 2 of the candidates that we had and both of them have actually, one's no longer interested and the other one had found other employment, just changed jobs, so wasn't really interested in changing. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and advertise for it, so I'd like to start that process.
Thanks for that position.
It's for a laborer's position.
Labor,
Correct.
I'll make a motion to allow the Jasper School Department to start the hiring process for a labor due to a
I'll second.
retirement.
okay, we have a motion by Tim and a second by the mayor. Any other discussion? And then you'll work with Kale's office on
There
that.
you go. Yes.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay,
I was hoping after 2 months, the retiree would think otherwise when I come back.
no such luck.
It didn't happen. And then the final thing is road school is coming up and that is every year in the middle of March. Again, we always send, there's 3 of us that go, Bob Sunderman, Matt Kiefer, and I go to that. This year it is March the 17th through the 20th. It's at Purdue. And yes, so I'm asking permission to send 3 employees. It is 3 nights stay. Unfortunately, the hotels in Lafayette area, West Lafayette know that we're coming, so the price seems to go up. So And unfortunately, I used to be on the Indiana Street Commissioners Board, so they took care of my room. I'm no longer on that board, so it's gotten a little more expensive. But anyhow, we do, it does include lunches and things like that, so, so meals shouldn't be a whole lot, but I'm finding that hotels are in the neighborhood of about 200 a night. So I'm asking permission to send 3 employees for 3 nights with a budget not to exceed $2,500. It should stay well under that, but we'll probably get close to that 2,000.
And you gain a lot of information and also connections with other cities.
We do, yeah, just getting to talk with others, other municipalities is worth the money. It's, but it's one of 2 events that we always go to. This, and then the other is in the summertime, the Indiana Street Commissioners Conference is usually in August or September, and those are the 2 we go to. So, all right.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve Bob Sunderman, Matt Kiefer, and Jeff Tysing to attend road school at Purdue, March 17th through the 20th, and with expenses not to exceed $2,500.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, anyone opposed? All right, motion carried.
All right, that's all I
Thanks,
have.
Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Hey, Josh, you have a couple of items.
Good morning, board.
Good morning.
Tara in the clerk's office has started sending around the asset management for the year, so I'd be one of the first ones to come up, but we have a couple assets that we'd like to get rid of or mark as being gotten rid of. Asset number 103092, that's a 2020 Dell laptop. That was actually taken out of service in 23 and was erroneously missed in being taken out of service last year through this event. So that's already been junked and gone through to Equinity for disposal. So it asked to remove that asset. The second item would be, it's marked as a secretarial chair, but it's an office chair. Jasper Group was gracious enough to donate several items of furniture over the course of the last year, including office chairs. So we'd like to junk asset number 100310. It's at the end of its life and there's no need to put it in the auction.
I'll make a motion to approve junking asset number 103092, which is a Dell laptop, and then also asset number 100310, which is an office chair.
We have a motion. I'll
I'll
second that. The mayor can second that motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, Josh. Okay, Renee, you have an item, farmer's market agreement.
Well, I did have an item, but I don't have an item. This was inadvertently a mistake. I'm gonna put on the Board of Public Works agenda, and the Board of Public Works no longer has the agreement with the farmer's market. But while we're talking about the farmer's market, I will let you know that it will take place again this year. Parking area of the Tim Clark Cultural Center. It will begin on Saturday, May 24th, 2025, obviously, and go through October 4th. And it will run on Saturday from 6 a.m. until 3 p.m.
A little bit later. Maybe it always had approval around to 3, but it usually is over by noon.
So does the art department or the art board?
Jasper City Library LLC as the owner of that property.
That makes sense then. So we'll put it where the ownership lies.
Yep.
Well, thanks for that information though. You're welcome. Kirsten, have anything?
I actually do have somebody that didn't make the agenda. I would like to request permission to approve a claim outside of the normal claim process. This is for $12,900 for Swank Performance. It's an art performer and they would like a deposit. It's a payment for a 50% deposit to sign the contract. It has been approved by the art board. They do know that they're paying the deposit up front and they have signed off on it, but we would just like your approval outside the normal claim process.
And that comes through the arts budget.
Yes, that is correct.
And when is that?
The performance is in May.
I don't know anything about what that is, but anyway, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve a claim from the Arts Department for $12,900 for a performance in May by a group or whatever called Squonk. Anyway, that's my motion.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, and that is for a deposit for their performance. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Mayor, do you have anything you'd like to add this morning?
No, just thank you for leading through the Board of Public Works today, Nancy, Tim. Appreciate that. It's actually been somewhat of a struggle for me here, so I was really appreciative of the fact that you guys carried on.
Thank you for joining us this morning. You came through loud and clear.
All right. Thank you.
Mayor, would you like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll do that.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Yes.